welcome back to my channel. So today I have a postpartum must-have and essential video for you guys. So first off, a little disclaimer, this video is going to be slightly TMI and a little bit more I don't know, less glamorous than anything that I've ever posted onto this channel. If you've already given birth in the past, it's not the most glamorous thing ever. It's a beautiful act and everything like that, but it is not like the aftermath of it isn't that glamorous. This video is going to have like 3 parts. The first part is going to be the items that I used to take care of the down there area afterwards. The second part is going to be the items I'm going to be focusing on, things for breastfeeding or the breast area in general. And then the third part is going to be the miscellaneous. It's all going to be in this video, but I'm going to break it down into these 3 categories. So I'm going to just start talking about the items for the down there area. Obviously you will need something to take care of the blood flow after giving birth. Mainly what I did and what I would recommend is getting diapers. Yes, adult diapers. I know it's really the least glamorous thing, but I'm going to put it out there right away. I wasn't sure if I was going to go for pads or diapers, and honestly I really preferred the diapers. When I got in the hospital, like for pads and stuff like that, they only gave us like the first pad, and it's like that super thick and uncomfortable, like huge-esque pad that is so big it's like bigger than your panties basically. And even with that, I kind of had a like minor leakage situation, and I felt very uncomfortable, and I had the diapers in my luggage in the hospital, so I used that. And for the first 2 days, that's the only thing that I used, and I felt so much more comfortable. Even when I moved, there was no movement of the actual diaper, there was no really risk of leakage, and I wasn't like self-conscious about like, am I going to move and it's going to leak, and I didn't have to worry when I was wearing those. So like not having to worry was really a big plus of them. It's more comfortable, and also like you're not like, the big pads are not sexy either on your pants, and in the first few days you're gonna want like to wear extra loose fitted clothes, especially at the bottom, so it's not going to show up that badly that you're wearing them. Honestly, no one will know besides you. So I would recommend them for the first 2 days. I also enjoyed having them on my way from home to the hospital. I was so worried about my water breaking, and I felt like those would hold up a little bit more than a pad would. Afterwards, you're definitely going to need pads, and I would get for like maybe for the first week, I would get like the huge big pads like these. These ones are from Always. I had some also from Incognito. Whichever brand you're using, but get the biggest maxi ones. My heavy blood flow lasted about 5 to 6 weeks, so I wouldn't get like the biggest pack that they sell. Honestly, I didn't go through that many, but that is just me. Maybe your blood flow will go for longer. And as I mentioned, the 2 first days, which are the worst, I was wearing the diapers, so like I didn't need as many pads. I would also recommend getting different sizes of pads. That's something that I was lacking in when I got home. After those, that's pretty much all I had. So I was wearing those maxi ones for a very long time, when I could have switched to regular ones and then to just panty liners. I would also get some panty liners because you will have a lot of liquids and stuff like that for at least 2 weeks, but it's not necessarily going to be like heavy, that size of a pad for 2 weeks. So I would recommend getting different sizes so that you can fit whatever your needs are for that 2 first weeks. So 2 other things for that region area are specific to going to the bathroom. Well, there are 3. I'm going to mention the third, but 2 things especially that you will need. One is a peri bottle. If you are giving birth in the US, they will give you one. In Canada, they do give you one, but if you have 2 bathrooms and you want to have 2, they often don't give the second one, so you might want to purchase it online. I loved my bottle. This is what you use when you go to the bathroom to rinse yourself afterwards. It removes like the burn from going to the bathroom, especially if you have stitches and stuff like that. This really helped, and it's really it's a no-brainer. You just put some lukewarm water in there and it helps to rinse out. I used my bottle for probably the first month. I felt more comfortable even after the stitches were gone. Like sometimes I would get like a burning sensation, and that really helped. So that was really a must-have for me. The other must-have that I don't have with me anymore because we went through them and we're not using them anymore are water wipes. I felt like if I had a lot of liquid and stuff like that I needed to get out, like the toilet paper would like be scratchy and hurt and stuff like that, and those really helped. They also help if you were having a number 2 and you wanted something that was soft on your behind. Water wipes were really great. I'm guessing that any baby wipes that you have that are unscented and stuff like that would do the trick, but we had the water wipes and I really liked those. The last item for that specific category, if you will, are the stool softener. At the hospital that I gave birth, they were providing the stool softener. They were providing all medications. They didn't want you to take medication from outside of the hospital except for your vitamins. So check with your hospital if they are providing them, but that is really, it's one of those things that like your first bowel movement after you've given birth is really stressful, and these stool softeners are really helping in the sense that they are easing up a lot of the stress of going to the bathroom for the first time. So that I would also recommend. So that's pretty much it for the down there area. I had like the sprays and stuff like that, the numbing products, but I don't feel like those made a difference, so I cannot really recommend them. Same thing for the padsicles. I know that a lot of people swear by those, but since I was in the hospital a long time, I couldn't really use them, and by the time that I got home, like I didn't have massive issues anymore. I did use some just regular ice down in the area that needed, like for my stitches when they were really painful in the first few days, but I didn't use anything other than that. So that's all that I'm going to recommend because that's all that I used, or that's all that I saw a difference with. That covers the down there and the like bodily fluids area. That was like the worst category to cover. Now we're gonna move on into the breastfeeding and the breast care category. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna talk about the items that help to facilitate breastfeeding. One thing that I would recommend are these like tank tops that have the little like hooks so that you can unclip them and nurse with those. I've got them in a pack of 2 from H&M. I think they were like $20 for 2. I wore them throughout my pregnancy because they were comfortable and because they have like a pregnancy fit. So that they were nice during the pregnancy and they were nice afterwards. I don't use them as much anymore, but for the first month, that's all that I wanted to wear. I wasn't comfortable wearing bras. They were like, especially when your milk first comes in, bras are like squishing, and my body had moved around a lot. My breasts didn't feel the same, and bras in general were really annoying me in the first week. So these camis were all that I wore. I didn't wear a bra, and they have this like kind of bra built in. They had a slightly looser fit. They were really comfortable to wear, and that's all that I wore for the like first week in the hospital. As I mentioned, I don't wear them as much anymore, but I think that I got my money's worth out of these totally because I wore them non-stop for that first month, and I even wore them when I was pregnant, and I still wear them from time to time, so I really enjoyed them. I don't need the unclipping part as much anymore. I'm totally okay with just a regular tank top that I just pulled down, but in the first month it felt a lot more comfortable to have those and to unclip them. For bras, I don't think that I minded the fact that I had to unclip them or not, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting a bunch of nursing bras, but I would recommend like regular sports tops like this one I got from Walmart. I think it was like 10 bucks, again, really inexpensive, and it's easy with a sports bra to just pull it down to breastfeed, and I felt like those were super comfortable and they held up better than the nursing bras that I got. And nursing bras are really expensive, so this worked really nicely, and I would definitely recommend getting a few of those sports bras. They're comfortable, they are not going to swoosh you in, and especially in those first few days, weeks, first month even, like, you don't want to be squished. You're not, like, your organs have all been squished throughout the pregnancy and all of that. You don't need the extra squishing. I was really going for comfort, and I really enjoyed those. Then as to gather up your milk with, so you will need breast pads basically. There are two main kinds of breast pad on the market. There are the disposable and the reusable ones. I have some of both. My favorite, especially in the first 3 months of my son's life, were the reusable ones. So these are the ones that I use. These are from Boobies. This is like the night one, and then this is the daytime one. As you can tell, the daytime is a lot thinner, and then the nighttime one is a lot bigger. Like, it's a lot thicker. I think it's like 2 times as thick as the daytime ones. I loved both. To this day, during the daytime, I still love the daytime ones. They are more than enough for me during the daytime. I don't have that much of a letdown during the day. When my son is feeding, the other breast doesn't tend to let down as much. The only time that I now feel like they are not necessarily enough is when my son is doing his whole night. Then they will definitely get soaked up, and sometimes they will not be enough. But my son tends to sleep for like 10 hours in a row, so like 10 hours in a row, it's kind of normal that your breast pad doesn't hold up as well. But I still love them. They are super soft, and the more you wash them, the more the softer they get. I would definitely recommend getting some of those, especially if you are at home for the first few days, weeks, or months. They are perfect. I really enjoyed them. Disposable get really expensive, so these were really, with how much I've used them, I definitely got my money's worth out of them. As far as the other type of breastfeeding pads are in the market, they are like the disposable ones. These ones are from Johnson's. I also had the Lancino. Lancino ones come individually packaged. The Johnson's one don't. These are the ones that I had closest to me, and as I mentioned, I think I have just one left of the Lancino. So these are the ones that I'm going to show for the disposables. Usually they have a little sticker at the back, so you can like stick them to your bra. What I will say though, I think I preferred the Lancino just because these ones are not big enough. So at night, they don't necessarily cover a lot of area, and when you're tossing and turning, sometimes your like nipple will get out of the pad and you will leak pretty much everywhere. So I think that for that reason, the Lancino were better. They're a little bit bigger, so they cover a larger area and there are less chances of spilling. I don't think I've ever spilled in the Lancino ones. I think that the format of this one looks better with clothes. So for daytime, they are great, but for nighttime, the Lancinos are better just because these don't cover as much of an area. I'm still in the market for the perfect disposable ones. If you have any other brand that you prefer, please link it down below. Then I have 3 more items that I want to talk about in this category, and they are more on the topic of pain. The first, I was lucky with my son. Honestly, he latched very easily, and I didn't have a lot of sore nipples and stuff like that. But I did have a few days, especially in the hospital, where it got unbearable, but honestly, not a lot. And the only thing that I felt really worked for me was the Lancino lanolin cream. This worked like magic. I would throw a little bit on my nipples and it would just heal them really quickly. The thing is that your baby is going to be nursing super often, so you need something that works really fast because you're always going to be removing the product. So this is what worked best for me. It also worked amazingly on chapped lips, so I would recommend this. I've tried a few different balms and this is the one that I preferred. The issue that I had with some of the other products is that my son didn't like the taste of them, so he wouldn't latch onto them afterwards. Even if I cleansed my nipples, he wouldn't, and that would be a big issue because although the product was doing great, if he doesn't latch onto my boobs anymore afterwards, that is a problem. So this, like, I wiped it a little bit, but technically you don't even have to wipe it, but I wiped it a little bit and it would latch as on if there was nothing on there. So that's why I really like those. But there might be other options out there, but the like more natural brands, he hated the taste of them, and so that's why I can't really recommend. Two other items that I would recommend are when your milk first comes in, it is going to be painful, really painful. You're going to feel the engorgement and it's going to feel super tight, and the two next items are really items to help with that period. The first one is cabbage leaves. I didn't think that these were going to do anything. I was really in pain in the hospital. I think that my milk came in on the 3rd or 4th day and I was still in the hospital, and I was in massive pain. And the nurse told me, like, do you want like cabbage leaves? And I was like, what the heck do you think that will do? And she had them, they had cabbage in the fridge and they were keeping it there for that reason. And you basically just take like a leaf, a few leaves if you want, and you just like cover the area, you cover your boob but not the nipple because it's not good for your nipple, so you cover around it and you just let that cool down. And honestly, it's just like if you took the pain away from my boob, and it felt so good. I think it was almost orgasmic how good it felt to put those on my breasts. So honestly, like, that is definitely what I would recommend. I had a few other things in my bag that I tried and didn't do much, but cabbage leaves, they worked wonder, and I would highly recommend. The other thing is, of course, well, the issue is that you're having too much milk and a baby is not feeding enough at that point. So sometimes just getting some of the milk out actually helps. So in the hospital where I was, they had the like hospital grade breast pump that you could borrow. They had it sanitized and everything, and that really helped as well. You just want to remove enough breast milk to feel comfortable. You don't want to like empty your breast out completely, because otherwise it's going to give a signal to your breast to produce even more. But just having enough to just remove the pain, that was perfect. So the other thing that I would recommend is a breast pump, either the one from the hospital or if you have your own. Technically, your milk won't come until you're home, except if you're in the hospital for a long time like I was. So having a breast pump at home would be a good idea, just for when your milk first comes in. To pump the excess, you will feel a lot more comfortable. It's going to help. It's not going to be as painful as otherwise it would be. Now I'm going to get into the final category, which is kind of the miscellaneous. The thing I'm going to start off with is kind of skincare, if you will. This is, mine is labeled in French, but I'm going to like say the name in English. It's the Rose Argan Body Conditioner from Lush. It's a natural product. Lush is really good for having natural products and being healthier and all of that. This smells really good. The scent isn't overpowering, and it's a kind of a conditioner but for your body. So it's a moisturizer that you put on in the shower and that you rinse out and get out of the shower. The reason I'm recommending it for postpartum is because you won't have a lot of time to pamper yourself, and if you were like me, my skin was super dry after I gave birth, and I was in the winter, so I needed something to condition my skin with. And this was just really nice. And I didn't have any time to put on moisturizer, I used that. Also, you don't have to be freezing after you're like to apply. Sometimes when you get out of the shower, you're like cold and you don't want to be putting moisturizer on, but your skin is dry, and that was really like helping me 100%, and I would highly recommend it. Mine is now done. I finished it like 2 days ago, and I'm a little bit over 4 months, so it lasted a very long time, and I would definitely recommend this. Then I would recommend having a water bottle that you really enjoy, because you're going to be thirsty all of the time. I needed to drink, and you are also, on top of being thirsty all of the time, you're going to need to drink water to keep your milk supply up and all of that. So a good water bottle is a good idea to have. I swear by the Clean Canteen one because they don't have any plastic, and I try to avoid plastic when possible. This is like stainless steel. It has like this silicone little piece here. It doesn't have any plastic even in the lid, so I really enjoyed mine. I think it looks pretty too, so I really like it. And you need to have a bottle at all times with yourself to remind yourself to drink as much as possible. The last item that I would recommend is food related, and it is fruit snacks. I like, well, having snacks in general everywhere in your house is a good idea in the first few weeks. But especially fruit snacks. I was craving fruit like crazy after I gave birth. I don't know why. But since I wanted to have it kind of accessible all of the time, there are fruits that don't keep well at room temperature, so fruit snacks were like a good option, like so applesauce or these the little, like, I don't know what you call these, but like the fruit leather things, like the cooked fruit leathers I really enjoyed, and then the fruit salads in little cups, I really like those. I had them in my nightstand and a few different places in that house. I thought that they were amazing. In the hospital also, they were a great pick-me-up from hospital food, so I really enjoyed those, and I recommend stocking up on them. They're definitely also get apples and other stuff like that, but I thought that those were also good option to have on hand. So this is it for my postpartum essentials and must-haves based on my experience. I know that everyone's experience is very different, and everyone's preferences and all of that are also very different. So if you have any specific items that were really must-haves for you, you can also link them down below for others to see. So this is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.